What is up, guys? Nick, aka Potter D Beats, back here with another Ableton Live tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about 3 simple EQ techniques that we could do to vocals and make them sound better right off the bat, right out of the box. And so let's just go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be working with a vocal from a good friend of mine, Sean, aka Swed Poet. Go ahead and check him out on his social media. I'll give a little link in the description. So this is a verse that we recorded quite some time ago on a track we called Comforting Nightmares. It's not quite released yet. We're going to be doing some re-recording, excuse me. So let's just give it a listen. It's super dry. Pulled it directly out of the project. And
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience, pesos paid for the artisan. Second no bread, no artisan. Shack that I own no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
alright. So we saw in that master, it kind of peaked there. We had a little bit of clipping. So that's no big deal. We can actually take care of a lot of that in the EQ itself. So I already have an EQ8. It's a basic stock plugin in Ableton. Most of these techniques, or all of these techniques that I'm going to be showing you guys, can be something that you can apply to Logic, Fruity Loops, Studio One, Pro Tools, whatever you guys are using. So my first big secret, well, it's not very a big secret. You're probably going to know this one right off the bat, is on vocal chains, we're going to roll off, high pass just about everything. High pass everything. Now, we're not going to be high passing information that is going to be useful in the lows, such as bass guitars, kick drums. Some of those can use more of like a gentle curve, not so much of like a steep minus 24 dB at at 100 hertz. So, but for this example, we're going to go ahead and start with a high pass filter like this, and we're going to do the minus 24 notch with cutting away frequencies. Steeper cuts are a lot easier to pull off musically than boosts. We would be sticking to like fatter boost and narrow cuts, but we'll get into that here in a second. So one of the safest frequencies we can high pass right off the bat is we can go straight to about 100 hertz. Bam, and we're pretty much not going to have any significant change in the track. So
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience, pesos paid for the artisan. Second no bread, no artisan. Shack that I own no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
alright, so that just pretty much took a little bit of information that wasn't necessary to the character of the vocal, and it's just going to give a little bit of room for our drums and our bass and everything else to breathe. And if you would like, you can kind of even start cutting a little bit higher, starting to take away a little boom from his voice. I know some vocalists are going to be a little bit mid-tone driven, so somewhere around like 200, 250 hertz, they're going to start peaking.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience, pesos paid for the artisan. Second no bread, no artisan. Shack that I own no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
So there's a lot of times that you can high pass right all the way up until the very low end punch of their voice, so that you can still maintain the low end of it and get a little bit of more control. So tip number 1, high pass every single vocal chain. Alright, tip number 2 is gonna be a little bit more of advanced, but still very simple. We're gonna be using narrow cuts, and we're gonna be using wide boosts. Easy concept. So we're gonna pretty much, whenever we're listening for a signal we're gonna boost, we are going to take a band EQ like this, pretty much just boost it, and we're going to narrow the Q here. So we're going to get a nice narrow Q here, boost it 15 dBs, and as the vocal's performing, we're going to kind of just sweep around here where we know some problem frequencies lie, and we're just going to do some surgical cuts.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
So we can notice right off the bat that it starts to become a little less punchy. And that's what we're kind of looking for, a little bit more control on the dynamics on the low end to give the master compressor the impression that there's a little bit more headroom than there actually is. Tricky, I know, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to listen for whistling, boomy, phasey type frequencies, such as this one.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
Okay, so right off the bat, we're getting a lot more control off the low ends. We're going to use, like I said, a narrow cut, and we're going to reduce that about to 3 to 4 dB, right around that. Make it gentle. And then we're going to do this for the second half. When it comes to making surgical cuts, I don't like to go too crazy. 2, 3 cuts, 3 cuts at most. And then we start to lose a little bit of like harmonic quality, integrity of the track. And we don't want to do that. We might as well just put a whole filter on the damn thing if we're going to do that. So, listening for a second frequency here.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip. As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
Alright, so you'll find around like 2.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the
Yeah, kind of a whistling frequency, so we're going to do the same thing, increase the Q there, and we're just going to reduce that about 3 to 4 dB.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan.
And already we're starting to get a lot more clarity out of the track in general, a lot less muddy boominess, just from making these 2 small surgical cuts and rolling it off. And the third one here is going to be, how are we going to say this? We're going to make wide boosts. And whenever we're going to make wide boosts, we make boost in EQ not to be the exact opposite of a cut and to add some sort of mixing quality. This is all going to be sheerly color. Coloration and how we're going to be warming the actual timbre of the vocal. So a lot of this timbre that I like to warm up is in around 10K or so, right around here. And this, you're going to notice, brings a lot of uplifting life to the actual vocal performance, a little bit of air. You start to hear a little bit more of the syllabuses in his takes. So,
as I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from.
So yeah, it's a very subtle difference, but adding all the subtle differences together, you start to get this vocal performance that is performing. Vocal performance that is performing. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. You get a vocal performance that is just straight doing a lot better. Excuse my grammar. But these small EQ adjustments, rolling it off, surgical cuts, and a small boost at the top for breath and color has made our vocal from a 5 to about an 8.
As I'm fading into the dark again, I'm patient waiting for bars to spit. Rage on stage for the audience. Pesos pay for the artisan. Stacking up bread, no artisan. Shack that I own, no longer rent. All the bitches got bras to pick from. God the gifted with a stronger grip.
All right, and the last thing I'm gonna do is not really a tip. It could be a small tip, but it's just something I'm gonna per se do on this exact performance, and that is here down by the gain. I'm gonna reduce it by about 3 dB, and what that's just gonna do is give us a little bit more headroom for the master chain when he performs, and kind of take away some of those peaks, which we're gonna make up in dynamics for a compressor, and we'll do in a completely other lesson. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter, social media, Powder D Beats, Powder D Music. Yeah. See you guys later.